Welcome to the video. Sig Sauer Guy here. In this video I'm going to show you how to convert your P365 into a P365 with a manual safety. Some states require that you have a manual safety. Some people just feel more comfortable having a safety on their firearm. So we're going to show you how to do that in this video. In order to accomplish that, we just need a couple pieces. One, we need a grip module with the cutouts for the manual safety lever. We need the manual safety lever itself, a detent, and a spring for the detent. So Osage County Guns has put together a kit that include all four of those items. The P365 manual safety conversion kit with grip module. Again, we have the grip module, the safety detent, the spring for the detent, and the ambi magazine safety lever. So that's all included right in this kit. This is super simple to do. It only takes a few minutes, so let's get started. Okay, we're only going to need two tools to complete this conversion, a small punch or a pick or something to drift our pin out. That's through our grip module holding our FCU in, and then a hammer or something to pound that pin back in. The new grip module, the hole's a little bit smaller, so it's a little harder to push that pin in, especially with your fingers, so you give it a couple taps with a hammer. So first things first, we're going to make sure we're working on a safe firearm, so we're going to remove our magazine, block our slide to the rear, physically and visually check to make sure there's no round in the chamber, which there's not. We're going to rotate our takedown lever, and then going to release our slide. Remove that, and then we'll use our punch to remove the pin back here, and this pin can go either way. So I use my punch to get that started, pull it out the other side, and I'll set that to the side. And then our FCU removes from our grip module by lifting up on the rear where that pin was, and then just sliding it up and out. Alright, let's take a look at what is included in the kit that I got from Osage County Guns. The 365 manual safety conversion kit with grip module. So it comes with a grip module with the safety notches cut out already from the manufacturer. And big bonus, we have a mag release. Some of the grip modules, the XLs, did not include your mag release, so I mean that's a pretty expensive part in relative to what this is, to have to buy it separately and install it. So big kudos having those included. We have our manual safety lever itself, pretty interesting part. Bunch of cutouts. This little hole is where the spring and detent goes. We have our detent right there. You can see it's a very small, tiny part. And then the spring that goes in behind it, also very small. So I was on the Sig website last night looking at their parts picker for the 365, and I did not see where you can get these parts individually. That's pretty important because if you lose one, you kind of need this to make this kit work. So be very careful not to lose these when installing this detent. It's got the spring in there, and if you pushing it inside here and it slips off and that detent goes flying, good luck trying to find that. So just be very careful when installing this here. So this kit, it's drop-in, no modifications needed. Every chassis for the 365 has the cutout for the manual safety already in it right there. Okay, so whether yours came with or without the safety, it's irrelevant. All of them, you can add this kit to make it a safety. So the first thing I'm going to do is insert my manual safety lever into my FCU. It's got to go in kind of a particular way. It's got to drop in there and then push to the side and rotate back. So because of all the nooks and crannies and nubs and stuff on this. So in order to do this, the first thing I need to do is make sure that my takedown lever is perfectly horizontal. And right now it won't move because I need to lift up on my slide catch. So the slide catch, if you can see, there's a little spring that goes in the back of it. That's the only thing holding it in right now. So don't just crank up on this and then move that because it might fall out. If it does happen, it's not the end of the world. I have a video that shows you how to put the safety, or excuse me, the slide catch back in it on my YouTube. So I'm going to push down on where the circle is where it hinges. So I'm going to push down on that. When I lift up on this, you hear it click because it's releasing that takedown lever, and we'll rotate it with our finger and then let it go. And now the takedown lever is kind of holding that in as well. Okay, so we need to do that. And then throughout inserting this, if we move our trigger, you can see how things kind of move. It makes it fall because it spreads things apart. It actually makes that lever go right down inside there fairly easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is on my lever here, we have a cavity with a hole in it. That's where our spring and detent go in there, okay? and that goes on this side of our FCU. And on this side, you can see we have these little notches here. Looks like an M. And them notches is where the detent rides to engage and disengage your safety. We're here, click, click, click. Well, it's those notches right there, okay? The other side doesn't have those notches. So the side with the notches is what side this part of the lever goes on. You can see it only has it on one side. The other side does not have it. So it's going to go in there just like this. And then we have this little nub sticking out right here. That little nub, that's the first thing we're going to put in here. We're going to put it right underneath this section right here, this little shelf. It goes right in behind there, and that kind of rotates underneath, okay? So we'll hold it just like this with our little nub. Put the nub right in behind there and kind of set it down right in there, okay? And then I'm going to push my trigger. That's going to kind of open things up, and then it'll fall right down in there, just like that, okay? Now, it needs to rotate horizontal as well. It's opposite your takedown lever, okay? It's facing forward, but you can see it won't rotate. It's got to be pushed this way, and then it'll rotate. So if you depress your trigger, you see it pushed over, and then it'll rotate up. And that's the way it'll be in your gun. So now what we need to do is we're going to back it just a little bit so I can see that hole. And I'm going to insert my D10 spring right into that hole. Okay. And then our D10 has a little post on one end. That little post goes in the spring inside the hole, just like that. So I'm going to rotate my lever as if you need a pick or something to push that D10 in to get it where it goes in those notches, because as you can see when I rotate it, it's starting to hit it right now. So I'm just going to use my finger, and don't let your finger slip off because that little D10's going to come shooting out of there like a rocket. So I'm just going to push that in, rotate that, and then get it right in those notches. See? And that's the way your safety works. Okay, so all that we have left is to reassemble the P365. So I'm going to take the grip module. I'm going to install my FCU front part first, making sure my takedown lever is in the little notch right here. So we'll put that in like that, and then we'll just slide the back down and press it into place. And then we'll install our pin. So on a new module, this goes through pretty tight, okay? So if you have something with a soft tip hammer, or a handle of a screwdriver works pretty good. Just something so you don't ruin your grip module. You just drive that in. Make sure we're flush on both sides, which we are. And then we will take, because we had to rotate our takedown lever up, we need to rotate it back down. Some people forget the reason it needs to go down about 6 o'clock in order to get our slide on. Well, it won't go down to 6 o'clock unless you press up on your slide release. And then it'll rotate down fine. And I hold it there with my finger. And another thing is a safety lever right here. Sometimes this little guy here gets stuck in the up position. So when we're installing our slide, it collides with it, just like this. And then people can't understand why they can't get their slide back on. So just make sure that is laying down. We have that pressed forward. We install our slide, press up on our slide release, rotate our takedown lever, and release our slide. So obviously we're not loaded, no round in the chamber. Pull the trigger, fires, and then we will engage our safety. Does not fire, disengage, fires. So there you go. Gonna need a shorter magazine if you got the regular 365 module again. So very simple kit to install. Pretty much any can do it right at home. I think it's pretty cool how you can convert a non-safety firearm to a safety that easily. So the kits are available at Osage County Guns. Very quick shipping. They usually have the stuff right in stock. Get on there, order it, and it's in your mailbox a couple days later. So as always, I hope this video has helped. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.